Hey guys, today's video I want to show you guys my Squier Pete Wentz signature bass. Yeah, so here it is. This is my Squier precision bass. This is from 2008. And so this is the Pete Wentz signature model, and so you got Pete's little logo right there, some business logo that he has. I love the pickguard on it. I love just the black and red combination. Maple neck. You've got his little bat logo right there at the 12th fret. But I actually have two of these basses, and I had a third one, but I sold it. But I've had two of these basses, and this one is my number 2 bass. So you can see there, I've put a couple of miles on it. There's a lot of dirt on the fretboard. And I'm going to take this thing in the back. Let's shine this baby up and let's check the intonation on it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here, before I get too crazy and pull the strings off and everything, I'm going to check the intonation here. So let me get over here and I will tune it up. Wait, let me put the camera right here so you can look at my tuner for a second. Okay, so I'm just using my snark and I have it on the headstock. And sometimes if when you're tuning a bass, if you hit the harmonic at the 12th fret, for some reason the snark likes to pick that up a little bit easier. So let's take this E string and let's kind of just tune it up. So this is the Pete Wentz Signature Series bass. And he was the bass player in Fall Out Boy. Very popular band. Oh, I guess a good, 10-15 years ago. Alright, so you hit your low E string right here. Let's get it all tuned up just perfectly. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hold down at the 12th fret and strum the note. Okay, there I'm going to pluck the note at the 12th fret, and we see how sharp that is, right? So when your note is sharp, you want to bring the saddle back. So sometimes you got to loosen the strings to do this. But on a bass, it's a lot easier than a guitar. So I'm just going to run this back a little ways. Okay, alright, so by pulling that saddle back, we have to retune now because it made the whole string go sharp. Okay. There's the harmonic at my 12th fret. And here's where I'm going to pluck the string at the 12th fret. So it's still just a little sharp. So I'm going to pull that back even more, and this time I'm going to loosen the string. Okay, there's my harmonic at the 12th fret. And here's where I pluck the string. It's getting closer, but it's still a little bit sharp. So I'm going to, one more time, I'm going to roll this saddle back a little bit more. Now if the string was flat, then you'd want to pull the saddle forward. So flat, forward, sharp, back. Super easy way of thinking about it. The double F. Flat, you go forward. Now there, see, you're starting to show that the note is, it's a little flat now. So I pulled that saddle back just a little bit too far, so I'm going to bring it a little bit forward. Okay, let's hold the note down at the 12th fret. There it is. So basically, that's how you intonate a bass. Same theory works with the guitar. So I did listen to quite a lot of Fall Out Boy because all my kids were of that age and they loved the band. So sometimes you're forced to listen to what your kids listen to, but I was kind of fortunate where my kids, they really kind of loved all that 90s pop punk kind of stuff. And I like that stuff too. So, yeah, Fall Out Boy, they kind of had a lot of that pop punk kind of feel to them. They got a little bit more like just straight up pop with some of their new stuff. But yeah, Fall Out Boy, man, pretty good band, pretty good band. And now this is the Pete Wentz signature series. And one thing that I remember that was really cool was there was one show, and Pete was, you know, of course, playing bass, and he was standing way up on this tall platform, and he jumped off of that thing. And I was like, oh my God, because that was high up there. Let's see if I can find footage of that. Yeah, so that was super cool. And I think Pete is the main songwriter of the band too. I don't know that for sure. But yeah, all this DNA, or all these fingerprints and all this goop that was on here, it comes off real quick. What I did is I just used a little of that Dunlop 65 cleaner, and I put some on a rag, and just kind of going to clean this up. There were some guys that don't like you to clean their fretboard. They don't mind the frets, like Tom Petty. They used to just not clean his fretboard. He would take his guitar to a guitar tech, or his guitar tech, and he'd always ask the guitar tech, don't clean the fretboard. You can clean the frets, just not the fretboard. These, you know what, I always enjoyed playing this Pete Wentz bass. And what happened is, the reason that I even got one in the first place is because my kids were really, especially my oldest daughter, she was really into the band. And then one day, just hanging out at the Guitar Center, I came across a Pete Wentz bass. And it was, I think I paid $179 for it. And I thought it was a cool looking bass, and I played it, and I got very used to playing it. And I was in an 80s hair metal band. We were called Hollywood and Vine, and I played that Pete Wentz bass, and then, you know, as the years go by, all guitar players, they want to experiment with different, you know, guitars, different basses. You know, the average bass player only needs 1 or 2 bass guitars, but those guitar players, man, they want a dozen of different things. But I played the Pete Wentz bass a lot, and it had a cool look to it. It was a good bass, and I know it was a Squier, which is their cheap brand, but that didn't bother me too much, and I would get a lot of compliments on the bass, and, you know, even though it was still a Squier, I got a lot of compliments on it. And then I even put USA pickups in my other Pete Wentz bass that I have, because I have 2 of these. Now, I do know around 2001, maybe 2002, right around that area, they did a second version of this bass, where instead of using red, they had a purple logo and a purple pickguard. And I've always looked for those, wanting to get one of those, but I could never find one. So I guess they probably didn't make very many of them. But sometimes signature models, they don't sell very good, because people don't want to be associated with that, you know, over and over their whole life. So yeah, there's a lot of people that don't want a signature model just because of that. But this one, this guitar, like I said, I bought my first one at the Guitar Center for $179. I found this one at a pawn shop, and I think I ended up paying about $110 for it. And here's this little signature right here, made in Indonesia. And I think the other one that I have is a 2009. But yeah, they're just cool basses, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys this thing real quick. And you know what? I got a new amp. Let me plug it into this amp after I get it all tuned up, and so we can listen to it a little bit. So here we go. So yeah, this is really cool. I have a David Eden Traveler bass amp through my Ampeg 810 cab. I'm always one of those guys that plays with a pick. I can do some of the finger stuff too, but nice little bass amp, nice little bass. It really doesn't bother me that it's a Squier. As far as a bass player, you know, it gets you by. It's just fine. Anyhow, guys, there you got it. Just something to do. We're in lockdown mode, finding things to do down here, you know what I'm saying? But, guys, if you get a chance and one of these things comes along, I highly recommend it, the Squier Pete Wentz bass. Hey guys, so thanks a lot for watching. If you want to get a ZIMM'S Guitars t-shirt, there'll be a link in the description down below. And have a great day. See you guys.